All right, I'm back alone. I got it in the regular Hangouts. Now I got to figure out how to send this to Kimberly. I think I did that. See if anyone's here. I'm all alone. This is the worst show ever, really. Sorry. There we go. What was my beef with 5-Year Mission? I don't know. I just thought it was boring. Let's see. What didn't I like about 5-Year Mission? Am I off again? Crap. Oh, there it is. No, I don't know. It just was clumsy. I don't know how to describe it. I've just never really found it to be exciting. I didn't really capture the game. I mean, it didn't feel like it was a Star Trek game. So that was about it. I haven't gotten Kimberly back yet, though. Let me see if I can get her back. She's probably dealing with cats and a Christmas tree. All right, so the question was out tonight about finding a gamer in North Dakota. Does anyone know a gamer in North Dakota? No, South Dakota. South Dakota. She had found somebody in every other state. It was, gosh, I forget her name. She's from Portland. All right, so I'm going to talk about another game. Have we talked about Catch the Moon yet? I know Daniel's talked about it. If he's still here, I don't even know who's still in the chat room. Check on participants. Catch the Moon's another light game. We played it at our light game night. We also played it the other night because it's a good kind of opener. You are stacking ladders. It's a Dex game. I always like Dex games. So you're stacking these little ladders, cute little ladders on this cloud. And you roll a dice and you either have to add one ladder or two ladders, and you can only touch, no, you have to only add one ladder, and you can either touch one ladder or two ladders, and you may have to be taller than any of the ladders in the assembly, and they end up looking pretty cool, these tall stacks of ladders. So it ends up looking pretty neat. Let's see, where's Kimberly? It's really cute. And it's got a really great rule book. It's got some lot of ideas. I've got a architectural background, so I enjoy kind of the building nature of it. Other things like it, like Rhino Hero and those sorts of things too, are a lot of similar in nature. Like what else was I going to talk about? Oh, I was going to also talk about Sakura. It's the Reiner Knizia game my wife and I picked up. She thought it was pretty looking. And it's about painting Japanese paintings. So you are working. Have I played Go Cuckoo? Is that the one with the sticks and the eggs, Troy? I think I gave that away last year at Easter to a friend. So yes, if that's the same game. Sakura is a Reiner Knizia game. You are painters. Yes, so I've played that. That's a lot of fun with the sticks, kind of like chop big tall pickup sticks, and you're trying to place eggs in it to get a balance. So it's very pretty board, and you're moving your guys along this path, kind of following the emperor as he moves along this path. Not too close, but not too far behind him. You get points if you're close enough to him when he gets to these temples, and if you bump into him, you get embarrassed and you lose points. But if you get close enough to him when he gets there, you get the most points. So, no, Ben, there are other people here. Troy and let's see. New roll call. Which one are you talking about? The Catch the Moon? Catch the Moon's great. Yeah, that's definitely buy it. I guess I haven't been doing that. Sakura's probably a play it. It's a little pricey for what you get. I'm not a super heavy Knizia fan. And yeah, thanks, Chad. And but it is very pretty, and it's a very well put together game. Catch the Moon's a definite buy it. I would buy it immediately. It's a lot of fun. It's a very well made game. It's very popular. It works with various sizes of player groups. I'm not sure what we said on Decrypto. Decrypto's probably a play it, because it really, like we said in the beginning, it's kind of got a weird entry to it about figuring out who's going to play it and whether or not people can figure out how to play within the rules set. And of course, I mentioned Lords of Vegas, which I played. And if you want to talk about something heavier, I'm going to mention that only because I think Z-Man recently said they're going to pick it up and start printing it again, since Mayfair went out of business. And that is a must play for me. That's a top 10 game for me. I love it to death. It's got a lot of randomness to it. If you don't like dice and rolling dice and stuff like that, and random draws from cards, you probably won't like it. But other than that, I love it. That is, it's funny. Bill and I were talking about Cheap Ass Games. That's by James Ernest, who did Cheap Ass Games, and Mike Selnicker, who's what's the card based D&D game? Chad will know. Pathfinder. So Chad's in the audience talking about Camel Cup versus Camel Up, and he says he likes Camel Cup better. How necessary is the Up expansion for Lords of Vegas? Only if you're going to play with groups of 4 or 5, which you may not even want to do. 4 or 5 is fine. We played it with 4, and it's great. Up is only expansion. Yeah, Seneca does a lot. Up is good because for 2 reasons. If you don't like the sort of crazy rolls where people grab the handful of casinos and roll all the dice, you can use the up cards to mitigate that, because it allows you to raise casino levels and manage the control of casinos a little bit better, and to not require you to have these bigger casinos and fight for the big casinos, because there's more option to get bigger casinos. So if you're trying to mitigate that sort of craziness in the game, which some people like and some people don't, then up is better. So maybe in 4 or 5, you could up is good. Um, 4, if at 4 it's not necessary. At 5, I think it is. Where at 4, it's it's optional depending on whether or not you like that or not. So that's all. Right. Yeah, it does help one player run away. The whole game is that way. It's a little bit broken where if you get a lot of money, you're going to get a lot of money to be able to buy things, and you could sprawl or do whatever you want, kind of, if you have a lot of money and get bigger casinos and get more points. So yeah, it's strictly optional. There's some other really micro expansions that you can mess around with too that are just okay. That came out in magazines or whatever. There's ones that build bridges over the roads, and I forget what the other ones are, mobsters or something. But just the base game's fine. I've played it lots and love it. Can it be played at 2? Lords of Vegas. I don't know. I don't see why not. It wouldn't be. There would be no competition. There's no scaling in the game for a number of players. So there would be no competition. That would be the only thing. There would be a lot less. There'd be a lot less competition. Ben, this is one of the few games that people actually like the paper money. I don't know don't make me look at it. I'm just asking you, say how it plays with 2. Can it play with 2? Is another whole another thing. It says 2 to 4 players. Age is 12 and up, so that's at least your shoe size, isn't it? The Lords of Vegas from Cat Fancy magazine. I've never even heard of that. You pulling my leg, Troy. Anyway. No, seriously, this is one of my favorite games. No, I've never actually tried it with 2. I've always played it with at least 3 or 4 people. So, yeah, it's clearly one of my favorites. So this week, I am hoping to get a little bit farther along in Pandemic Legacy Season 2. And then we are going to finish it, come heck or hell water, whatever they say, on New Year's Day. That is our plan. We are cleared our schedule, and we are going to finish that darn game and move on to something else. So Wednesday night is my Legacy game day. So I don't know. Has anyone played? Thank you, Troy. Has anyone played? What's the newest Legacy? For Hidden House on the Hill Legacy. What's the Haunted Hill game? It's escaping me. Come on, Chad. Are you still there? You always know. How many scenarios are we in? I think we just finished September. So we have October, November, Betrayal on the Haunted House on the Haunted Hill. Thank you. Legacy. And that's supposed to be really good from a couple people that I've heard from. And I've always been a fan of Betrayal. I know it's not great. But nonetheless, I'd like to give it a try. So that may be next in our Legacy group, or we're going to go back to Time Stories. That was what we kind of started with. We started with PL1, and then we went to Time Stories for a while, and now we'll go back to this for a while. So we shall see. Troy, no, not. So Pandemic Legacy was me, Dr. Jim. We played his house, my son, who's now at college, and Jonathan. When Alan went out to college. Zach came in, but Zach didn't like the pandemic that much, so he left. And then now it's been Rick for a little while. So 3 of the 4 of us have done all of the pandemic. Queensdale. Oh, that's an interesting one. That the one with the plunger? Time Stories is a burn it. Yeah, Time Stories isn't perfect. That's why we kind of stopped for a while and moved on to something else. I think what's interesting is I don't know where we got. We're starting to pick up on an overarching story without giving something too much away. That's happening between all of the missions, where the missions were seem to be independent of each other before. Now they're starting to have something connecting between them, and you're sort of collecting some things. I forget what happened, but it's been a while. That was what's starting to make it a little more interesting and to make us want to play some more. All right, it's after 11. I guess I should probably wrap it up. Played 5 lights. What does one do now? Well, you could play it solo, or you could bring in somebody else. I mean, perfectly honest, PL1 was pretty good. I would play PL1 again. I'm not so sure about PL2. We hate it. Yeah, PL. I'm kind of getting tired of PL2, to be perfectly honest. There was a pretty major change for us. Like, I don't know, was it July and August were kind of a slog? Or was it? Yeah, I think it was July and August. I can't remember. There was just a couple months there where we just, I think we were just not playing it right as intended. I don't know what we were doing wrong, but we just weren't doing things right. It was kind of slogging for us, and then some things opened up for us in our last game, whatever it was. Maybe it was late August, maybe it was September. I can't remember. And it just felt like, well, at least something changed, and now we want to play it again. So maybe it's not better. It's not. I don't know. I agree. It's kind of dragging, Chad. You got me monologuing. Thanks. You guys seen The Incredibles? It just feels weird sitting here talking to myself. That's all. I mean, I know you guys are on the thing. I should send one of you the link. Chad's been on. All right, Ben's leaving. Says Jason's in the chat. Well, I'm down to 2 people. Yeah, I'm just going to sign off. So, all right. Get some stuff to do and then go to bed myself. So thanks for hanging in. Sorry about all the technical difficulties. I probably should have taken over the show when Bill's internet started acting wonky at the beginning of the night, and not had all those chat problems. 2 is better than 1 in The Incredibles. I'm not so sure about that, but we can talk about that another night. Have a good night, everybody.